Blah. Okay, already. This season, we're coaching someone through what so many of us go through.
I'm Alison.
I'm Michelle.
Meet Sophie. She stayed too long, she'll break up, she'll heal, she'll date, she'll spiral. She's you, she's us.
We'll walk with her and you through every phase, from heartbreak to wholeness.
If you're tired of the chaos and ready to thrive in singlehood and in love,
welcome to season 3. Oh,
that was
so
so
close.
good.
Recording in progress.
Oh my God, you guys, we need you to subscribe.
We do. We really, really do need you to subscribe because not enough of you are. And we know you're out there. We know you're listening. So come on, do it right now.
Come on, please. You know, I don't know, but it's just now anytime I kind of I consume a new content on YouTube or Spotify, I subscribe. I'm just like, okay, I feel you.
So
I feel
bad.
you.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if it's the second time you're listening to us, you're enjoying it. And this is like we're taking Sophie on a journey, and we need, this is the third year we're doing this, and we need a new breath of fresh air and wind beneath our wings.
Exactly.
So yeah. And just before we were saying, like, we need to remind you guys at the beginning of the episode. So we did. And now we're going to move on and talk about sleeping with your ex, with Sophie.
Consider yourself reminded. Okay, moving on. We have a fun topic today.
We do. So Sophie has just gone and slept with her ex-boyfriend that she just broke up with. Aww. And so, obviously, it's a bit of a cliche. I myself.
Yeah, you were going to say the same thing.
Yeah, as it's a we do this
you yourself.
I've done this before. I slept with a guy that I broke up with. So my first boyfriend, we continued sleeping with each other for a while after we broke up. No pride, no shame. We were together for 5 years, for 4 or 5 years, whatever. I don't know that it's the healthiest behavior.
Well, yeah, because it sort of prevents you from moving forward and letting go.
Exactly. I think, let's just get into her questions before we kind of jump the gun. Her first question is, why do I still want to sleep with my ex even though the relationship was toxic?
Because you're horny. Sorry, I had to.
Isn't there that cliche, thing about, breakup sex is the best sex type of thing?
Well, yes. I mean, I do enjoy the sex after an argument with quotation marks because me and Zev and my
you guys. Yes.
But I think maybe it's because of the cliche that it's like, so romantic or so like coveted to have like, there's this whole, like all the romance stories that we see in Hollywood, everyone covets that and everyone wants that, and I think there's something so, I don't know how to explain it, but there's something like this, it's like desirable to have that after breakup sex. It seems like such a dramatic, exciting thing to do,
Yeah, that kind of forbidden fruit. I think my advice would be avoid sleeping with your ex. Whether it's the most recent one or whether it's a guy from, blast from the past, I would avoid it. I will also say that, I have not followed that advice and I've survived. I think, why does she still want to sleep with her ex? I think it's just, habit. It ties into, what we were saying last week.
Yeah.
You should subscribe and listen to the previous episodes.
Yeah.
It was, it's the devil, and it's familiar, and it's tough to let go, if there's the geographic proximity. I think it's just, it's easy, it's falling, it's difficult to kick a bad habit. So I think, beyond the whole, I agree with what you were saying about the forbidden fruit and the drama and everything. I agree with what you said, but I think also we're just wired that way. it's difficult to kick a bad habit, and I think, as long as you're aware that it's not good and you
Mhm.
need to kind of move on swiftly, I think you're fine. It's just, I think, be very, be cautious. It's like, why do I want to eat pizza even though I know it's bad for me? Well, because it's
Mhm.
good. Like, it's
Yeah.
tasty. It's, short term, reward. You know that it's not good. Try to not do it as often as possible. And, sleeping with an ex is obviously at one point you won't be doing it anymore. Whereas pizza, we will all, I hope everybody can eat pizza for the rest of their lives. But basically that's it. It's difficult to kick a bad habit. I think, to have a lot of awareness and move on.
Yeah. I also think it's not something that you can just switch off like that, you know? Not your feelings, not your desires,
Mm,
not your needs. You've been well, I mean, I don't know like how long it depends how long you've been together, but you know, it- you can't like you've had feelings for this person for so long. It's not some even if the relationship was bad, it's not something you can just, okay, that's it. Now I have no feelings for them anymore. Or now, you were attracted to them and you're like, well, no, that's it. Now I'm not attracted to them anymore. Sometimes, yes, sometimes it happens that like, you get the ick suddenly from something and then you can't understand how you ever were attracted to that person. But for most of us, we're human and it takes time to get over it.
yeah.
And especially when it's so fresh and especially if you are struggling to cook on your own or to find someone new. And a lot of us, we have needs. And personally, I don't like one night stands, and I don't like having sex with people that I don't know or don't have feelings for or don't feel comfortable with. So an option is either have is either having a friends with benefits or going back to an ex-boyfriend and having sex with them. So I think that can tie in a bit to the question of how
Mm,
why and what was the question? Why? Yeah, why do you still want to have sex with your ex?
yeah.
That's why.
I think I think you're kind of also crossing over to the next question. So I'm going to open it and then we can continue on, which is, will sleeping with my ex help me get closure or make things worse?
Hmm.
I have a finite answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this applies to the huge majority. There's always an exception, but this will apply to
Yeah.
the huge majority. If you sleep with your ex once, it will do nothing. If you sleep with him or her several times, it'll make things worse.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, and
Because then you're
this
creating a pattern.
exactly. And this coming from a woman who has slept with her ex, who has slept with guys, you know, long after it should have ended. Um, this is a wise Alison speaking. Learn from my mistakes. You can sleep with the wrong, quote marks, wrong person once, and it'll do nothing. It won't bring you closure. It won't bring anything good. It won't bring anything bad. You can get it out of your system and kind of that thing of just that one mistake, because I think it is a mistake. But
Mhm.
if you do it um, often, then it'll bring things bad. And I have a friend who's currently doing this, and she's an exception. If she's listening, she'll recognize herself. I think she's an exception, but I can name many other people who are not exceptions to this rule.
Yeah, I think it also way overcomplicates the situation and it makes you question your decision of breaking up in the first place, which is not a good thing because we tend to anyway forget why we broke up to begin with. And
Yeah.
so when you're sleeping with them again and again, it's sort of, blurring the lines and then it's creating this whole new complicated dynamic of okay, now what's happening? What are we? Are we getting back together? Are we not getting back together? Are we on the same page? Are we not on the same page? And just again, it's preventing you from moving forward, from
Yeah.
not only finding someone new, but also finding yourself first and getting to know who you are without them getting to know yourself again without anyone, just being you and finding your own new path. And you can't do that if you have someone or something holding you back. And if you're constantly going back to them and constantly seeking their attention, their touch, their feelings, their whatever it is, and that's confusing. So I think it's important to set these boundaries because otherwise, you're never going to get over them and you're never going to find something good. And it's just blinding you from seeing anything else that's possible in your life. And again, I think maybe once, okay, fine, we're human. But then after that, get over yourself. It's time to
Yeah.
move on. It's time to let go of the past. It didn't work out for a reason. And I think it is very toxic. Toxic.
Yeah.
Sophie's question. And yeah.
Yeah, and you started again touching upon the next question. It's as if we've written them. I mean, gosh.
Mm-mm.
Is it ever okay to sleep with an ex if I know we're not getting back together again? I think when it comes to sex, whether it's sleeping with an ex or one night stand or your partner or this long-term friend that you've been flirting with or whatever, you guys need to be extremely translucidly clear with each other about expectations, where you want this to go and where you think it's going to go and everything.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't happen often, sadly. I think
Yeah.
because obviously there's the heat of the action and heat the moment and everything, and you can't make it abundantly clear. But I think if there's an inkling of you that's hoping to get back together and you don't know what the other side is thinking, or that you're not getting back together and you know that the other side is hoping that you're getting back together, then it's a no-go, because you're either going to hurt yourself or hurt them. And just for realistically 20 minutes of pleasure, or even if it's a a sex god or goddess and it's going to be a whole night,
Mm-hmm.
the pain that it's going to bring up, I would say, you know is it ever okay? I think, in those two circumstances of where one or the other has expectations, um, then no.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be honest with yourself. But again, you're human, and there's no judgment and everything, and it's just
Yeah. A lot of
yeah,
times we. Hmm?
it's just complicated because, I
Yeah.
think this is a really kind of a huge topic of interest for me, of you know so it's your body and what you do with it. And I understand the whole thing about it's my body, I decide what I want to do with it, if I want to have sex, but it's people compare it to going for a workout. I work out with friends, why can't I sleep with whoever I want? But it's just not. It's sleeping with someone, it's making love,
Yeah.
it's the biggest vulnerable state that you'll have. And I think
It's
you
very
know
intimate.
it's very intimate. I think having gone through various stages of thought of this, and it's just, you want to be very careful who give yourself to, and whether male, female. And here,
Mhm.
because we're coaching Sophie, I think we've got a lot of female listeners, but this applies to male listeners as well, of just
Yeah.
don't take yourself for granted.
Mhm.
And this whole thing, is it ever okay I think, as if you're asking yourself this question, then the answer is no.
Yeah. Because you already know that you don't want them back. So what's the point? What do
Yeah.
you, why would you do that? And I think that can just, especially if you already know and if you already at that stage where you're saying, I don't want them back, that's huge. Being able to say to yourself, I'm whole with this, I feel whole with my decision of breaking up and not getting back together with them. And that's a hard decision to make after a breakup. And And so to sleep with them is just going to confuse both of
Yeah.
you. And especially if you don't know what they're feeling, and you have to also think about the other side of like, what if they haven't got there yet, and sleeping with you is just going to make them even more confused and even more heartbroken. And I know how hard it is sometimes to, to not say fuck it, let's just go for it, let's just do it. I just like doing it, so I want to do it, and I want to do it. I know how hard it is, but again, it's about setting those boundaries and having self-discipline and being able to say, no, that's it, I've moved on, I don't want it, so what's the point?
Yeah, I think you said it, nicely.
Hmm.
And, if you've come to that great conclusion, then, that if you want to feel pleasure, there are ways. And if you want to feel companionship, then there are ways. And I think, after
Yeah.
if you've gone through the hard things of breaking up and getting over and coming to this realization, then it doesn't make you a bad person. But
Hmm.
just because it doesn't make you a bad person, it shouldn't give you shouldn't give you the permission to do subpar actions.
Yeah.
Her last question is it possible to have casual sexual relationship with my ex without getting emotionally involved again?
Mm, mm. Is it possible? Probably. I mean, I think anything is possible. Do you really want to test it for
Yeah.
that? For what? I don't know. I think I've made the mistake of sleeping with my ex and turning an ex into a friends with benefits, and it just created this whole unnecessary
Yeah.
drama. And it made me make some very embarrassing and regretful mistakes that I cringe just at the thought of. Even, what is it, 10 years later?
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
just
mean,
done. Just, I learned from it. It helped me eventually. But why should you also make that mistake when you just learn from our mistakes, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think
We made the
especially
embarrassing
with
mistakes for you. So you don't
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
to.
Exactly, exactly. We've done it. We've done a lot of it.
Yeah.
Um and this yeah. So just this will be the last episode that we record today as I have a baby that's waking up.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Um
yay for him, not yay for us, because,
yes,
we love talking about
we love
these
recording.
things.
We're recording again in next week. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um, coming back to this friend who's, she'll probably recognize herself if she's listening. Um, is be very, very, very aware. And so I'm not worried
Mhm.
about this friend because she's extremely self-aware and conscious and kind of thoughtful. But she's already kind of, realizing certain things that aren't sitting well with her. Um, and she's also kind of on a different path of just not really different path to Sophie.
Mhm.
She's an exception, and she's is it possible? Probably. So it's probable. It's
Yeah.
this
Statistically,
statistically probably probable. You get it,
probable.
but it's not. It's unlike life according to the outliers.
Mhm.
Consider that this is it possible to have casual sex in a relationship. Casual sexual relationship with my ex without getting emotionally involved again. No, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
It's unlikely. That don't rely on the fact that it is. I agree with what you said, Michelle. Do you want to take that risk? Do you want to, you know,
Yeah. And I mean,
test the
again,
theory out?
it's very, very intimate. It's something that, you're literally exposing yourself to someone else. And again, we're each very different in sexuality. Again, me personally, if I'm going to sleep with someone, I need to feel super comfortable with them. I need it's to me, it's way more than just having sex, and it's way more than
Yes.
just penetration. It's connecting in a way that's not possible in any other way. So it's very hard to keep your emotions out of it, and it can be very confusing for both sides. So on that lovely optimistic note,
I just popped into my child's bedroom as you
yeah,
saw, our listeners and viewers didn't see, but good. I think we did well on the topic of just ending it.
yes,
We'll probably
yeah,
maybe this is a topic that we do kind of a one-off episode of just talking about sexuality and just
yeah,
have it
we
as
should.
a
Make it a
outside,
bonus.
do it as a bonus. It's a good idea of just
Yeah,
go and deep dive hour and a half conversation around it.
yeah. And thank you for to Teddy for keeping us accountable to the time.
I know. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not. I won't show him, but I'll. This is Teddy. What do you have to say to our audience? We'll listen to you, Teddy.
Say subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Say thanks
It's
for
just like,
listening.
thanks for listening, everyone.
Say, let us know if you think it's a good idea to sleep with the ex.
It's
No.
just like his mouth is hanging over the mic of just like
I want to eat that. That looks like a tiny little ice cream. Oh,
interesting take, Teddy. Interesting take.
yes.
Okay. Bye, everyone, and see you next week.
Yes. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe and like and share and everything.
Yes,
Bye.
exactly. That's it for this episode of Pop Culture Cupid.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We're glad you're here.
Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit for more behind-the-scenes real talk.
And if you want to support the show, check us out on Patreon.
Until next time, be kind, be happy, be healthy, and remember, heartbreak isn't the end.
It's the plot twist.